And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Round two. These degenerates just won't quit. The game they've been playing, even though the technical difficulties stopped the stream. But we fixed the technical difficulties. 1 minute till the action is back. One minute and counting till we're back to the action. And here we are. Technical difficulties will not keep us down. Club JAQK has got no quit, baby. And so, just to recap here on the new stream, we played about 4 hours earlier, and some people, they kept playing even though we had some technical difficulties. Uh-oh. Black screen. Uh-oh. And just kidding. We're back again. No, we had some we stopped the game on the stream, but they actually continued to play. So from the last time we left you, some things have changed. Like Monkey is no longer 1375 loser, as he told me before I came back in the booth. He won a monster hand, so he's actually winning. As you see all them chips in front of him. And so everybody else is back up and running. So I don't know where everyone exactly stands, because I think the win-loss is continuing us from the point we left off at. So we shall see. 7s and 4s and a gut shot for Georgia here. Richard with the wow, sweet turn for Georgie as he turns the nuts. He's going full pot on the turn. Bye bye kings and bye bye Mike's 10s, Jackson 4s. George wins that one. So either way, back in action. Dan's back. He's fulfilled all his tournament duties. He can't take it anymore. He's got to get in the game. We back. All right. First hand goes to Georgia. I hope that gets updated again, the actual win-loss. But as you can see, some nice big stacks. The game has grown, as they tend to do. Turns a set of 3s for Dana. Everyone checks around, and now that set of 3s gets beat by Richard. As he comes in with the wheelie dealie, he's just going to take it. Baker's turned the visor around. He's ready for business. He's ready to turn the session around. That's what he's ready to do. I don't know where Richie's sitting. I know he had it on. We are still in line for some nice big pots here. Dan's in with the Jack 9-5 deuce. George with the beautiful King Queen 10-9. Monkey's popping it up with the King Queen Jack 3. I'll take George's hand right here. Or Mike's got a solid night, 9-7-7-6, but he's out. George does put the 3-bet in to 200. I really like this play. That's a very good hand. Very connected. And quad sevens would have flopped for Mikey. Everyone's just saying no moss, no moss. And Dan actually has the best hand with the pair of fives here. Monkey, he has stolen the spot before. He checks it back, and look at this, $645 pots to Dan with a pair of fives. Does he do? George can't believe it. He said, "Did you just call $200 pre-flop Dan with the Jack 9-5 deuce?" Yes, he did. Dan is act shown. Don't. Craig Sexton. How did that donkey win? Which one? See a lot of them, Craig. Monkey said he couldn't pull the trigger. If he would have pulled the trigger, it would have worked extremely fast. They would have folded just as quick as you pulled it. Ace, King, Jack 3. That's like a monster for Danny after that last hand we saw. And he raises it. Yeah, Dan's going to push the action. So this game's got... It's going to pick up even more than it was, and it was already flying. Georgie in there with the Queen 5, 6, 7. 3 clubs. Baker, Ace 10, 6, 3, 3 hearts, but the button, very important. So, interesting little hand here. Top pair for Danny. George with a pair of fives, a gut shot, and a queen high flush draw. Danny's been playing a lot of hands. He's going to bet out. George calls immediately. Danny checks, George checks back, and I believe George hits the nut flush on the river here. Sweet. Ace King for George. George looking at his hand. He's going to try his best to make this look like a bluff. I expect George to slide out a big stack of black. That's I love it. But Danny's probably not going to pay this off with Ace King. As I was saying, Danny does pay it off. Says nice hand. Good hand for George. Sweet. I'm thinking what Dan was probably thinking right there was, did you just, because since the ace of clubs hit, did you really call with the queen of clubs and, you know, the actual just queen high flush draw and then bang it to where you can fully pot the river. So I guess he was figuring he wouldn't pot any other flush besides a bluff or the nuts would be. And Dan's more of a show me kind of player. Brandon Rogers, I really love seeing the staff from the casino playing. Hey, it's where the players play. Hello, STE. Hello to you. It's where the players play. It's where the dealers play. It's where the floor men play. It's where everybody plays. Really like Mike's hand here. King, Queen, Jack, 6, double suited. Dan pops it up with a really pretty 8, 9, 10, 5 double suited as well. Did not like Monkey's hand at all. Ace, King, 5, deuce, no suits. And we've got action. This is a monster flop for Danny. Raising it pre-flop. He's got the open-ended and the flush draw and the pair of 8s. We have the gut shot for red-headed Richard here. Sorry, I keep going for the RHB Richard. He's got the gut shot and the king high flush draw. 9 makes him the nuts. Danny did bet it. I can see Richard doing a lot here. I can see a flat. I can see a raise all in. I can see a fold. Yeah. I can see all options on the table. He just does fold. He's not really familiar with Danny either. So there's if Danny does have nut clubs right there, you're in bad shape. STE just came over to check out the stream after I heard it mentioned on Crush Live podcast. That's awesome. Thank you, Crush Live, for mentioning us, talking about us. Hopefully it was good. And now you can check it out for yourself. 8-5-4-7 for George here. Good hand. He's going to pop it up. Monkey's in there with the king 6, 7, 8. And here comes Baker with the king jack 10 deuce. Dan's out, Big G's out. And here we go. Jack in the window. Kings. Kings and jacks for Baker. Top 2 for Baker. No one really has anything else. George is gone. Monkey does have a king. And he's got kings and 6s, so it's a fun card here. Once again, neither of them have it, but both could represent it. Baker checking to see which diamonds are in his hand to see if that's relevant. And he bets the 100 again. And a snap call by Monkey with kings and 6s. And then I just don't like that because unless you're going to take the initiative on the river, no, that's no good. Good hand, Baker. I don't mind Monkey's call if he's going to start betting the river. But when you're out of position in that situation like he is, that you let them check back all the hands that have you beat, like bet a little bit better 2 pairs. Now, if you had top 2 pair, maybe, but if you're not putting him on a flush, but you have top and middle, so any value hand you're losing to. And if you want to put a hand that's got you beat and like kings and jacks in a blender, then you gotta you got to start leading out and potting that river. Very, 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 very rarely is kings and six going to win at showdown there. Monkey with the deuce 4, 6, 7. Double suited. Bumps it up to 75. Oh, Mike. I really like Mike's hand. He folded the king, queen, 10. Mike is, again, more of a hold'em player from what... So, I don't know how much Omaha he's actually played. I've played a lot of hold'em with him. He's a good hold'em player. But that hand he just folded is a very good Omaha hand. If the graphic was correct. And we've got George with 3 betting. Baker's going to be in there. It's just a little min click from George. Kind of inviting. He knows. Baker's like, gosh, dang it. I'm priced in. And George and... So Monkey Man flops a gutter and a gut shot straight flush draw. Pretty good turn card here for Baker now. He just, when I say pretty good, I didn't realize very good. He has a wrap and he has the nut heart draw. George now takes the initial, bets the 3. Baker's looking back. Yeah, I just saw it late too, my friend. Welcome to the pot. I don't think he does anything but call here. He cannot fold his hand. He's not going to raise George because George's reputation, most likely. He's just going to call this 3, which you absolutely have to. He has a 9 to an ace to make a straight and a heart, and there it is. But it is of the clubs. A Monkey's in there with the 6, 7 clubs. I didn't see that. And Monkey is just firing. And wow, that is ballsy. Because you are firing into 2 people with a 7 high flush. The other clubs are very possibly out there. I don't think Monkey's bluffing. I think he is just betting his flush. But that's very dangerous. And so I thought he was heads up with George. Baker was, but that is that's almost a kamikaze mission right there. It worked out that time, but I wouldn't advise that. Be very careful betting 7 high flushes into multiple people on the river. The Wicked Monkey back at it. Getting his fire lit back up. Dan the man gonna raise it on up. Danny Jack, ace 10, 5, 5, spades. Pretty hand here for George. He's gonna 3-bet it once again. George he's starting to pick up the aggression here. I think George likes his spot where he's gonna see where he feels really comfortable pre-flop, post-flop against these players. So he wants more money in there. And that's a big flop for Georgie as he flops trip 8s. With an ace kicker, he's a little worried about kings full. No one bites for George. Deuce, George is going to bet it now. You are always worried about them kings out there. But bet and take it. No one's got them, so take it on down. We got a tournament going on here right now. About, I think, 3 or 4 tables full. 2 or 3 cash games going on. Mitchell Huff, are you the announcer? I just might be, Mr. Baker. They are telling the rest of the room that their seat's open. Sorry, I missed this hand. I was, it looks like a whole lot of nothing for everybody. George turned fives full and then gets a really ugly river. He didn't even have anything. What's Big Sim's, it's George. Monkey just going after. Big G just called him with ace high. I love it. I guess he's saying if you got... Get it fixed, monkey. Get it fixed. Richie's moving seats. He's... So it looks like we do have a couple open seats. If you're in the chat and want to come play some PLO. That's what RHB did. He was watching the chat, saw the game, saw how good it was, said I'm on my way, came right in, got him a seat. Ace 9-4. I know we got a set of fours here and a gut shot for Mike. Same gut shot for RHB. Danny's got top two here. This is going to be, depending on how fast Mike plays this, he's only got 600. I could see these two getting it all in. Aces and a gut shot and backdoor diamonds for Big G, but no, Danny checks but top two, and here he's going to check. I think he's going to check, raise it in. He's going to just put them all in. He's only got 600. Ace 9, so set of fours in really good shape here. Danny's in need of running diamonds or an ace of 9 or an 8-10. Oh my, there's one. There's a good turn. Ooh-wee. He turned a hell of a card there. Ace 9, 8, diamond after the turn. Did not come in. Set of fours, hold up. And Dan almost falls over, but cat-like reflexes. The hustles are on all across the table. This ain't really my game. I don't have a game. I'm not playing very good. Wait till you see the stream. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Oh, I'm just getting lucky. That's one of my favorite lines. Ah, I'm just getting lucky. Some queens here for Georgie. Some kings here for Monkey. Well, we can't see the flop here. Okay. Now we've got a double gutter here for George. Niner or king. King is in the gutter, but I believe there's an ace out there, so neither one of them really like this board. Kings that look to be good by the river. Oh, beautiful hand here for Rich. Ace, king, jack, 9 double suited. Gorgeous hand. Pops it up to 100. And not really the flop you're looking for. His Monkey just flops the stone cold nuts. $150. Pretty much drawn dead. Monkey just bets the pot with the nuts there. Pretty high-low hand, Baker. Wrong game. Kings for Monkey. I like Danny's hand here. Ace, queen, jack, 3 double suited. Not double suited, excuse me. Suited to the ace. Check, check. I don't think Danny's going to win this yet. Just. Oh, very good here. Nice call here by Monkey. He calls 200, which he's essentially saying, I don't believe you, because kings and, oh wow, Monkey snap calls him with kings again here. And a 3 on the river. That really changes nothing. Oh, and Dan has bet every street. And Monkey is now pumping the brakes. Like, what do you have? He's just been stubborn from the get-go. And absolutely correct from Monkey. Absolutely correct call. Wow, good call there. 2700. He just called him with. They've been going at it all day. That's the first time Monkey got him, and it took a hell of a call with 2 kings. He was not a believer from the flop, and once you call the turn, I mean, that river really changes absolutely nothing. He's putting him on straight air to make that call. Don't try that at home, kids. Be the old Nutter Butters for the Monkey again, as he has decided to turn back up his heat. And that's a think anybody has anything else though. George has open-ended in pairs, 2 pair. Mike Cox, that's why I call him Poker Mike. Who's Poker Mike? Mike Cox. Poker Mike, who's that? You? Are you Poker Mike? The Wicked Monkey calling with the Kings. I mean, what's going on? He's had enough of Dan's stuff. Pretty low hand here for Dan the Man. Ace, Queen, 10-8. Another Ace, 2, 3, 4. Richie, if you're playing horse with us tomorrow, keep those hands away from me and Omaha High Low. And George, 2 jacks and a deuce 4. So a really good flop for Dan. Aces up with the Queen high flush draw. George just a gutter butter, and he's on out of there. I am predicting an all-in pot in the next 20 minutes. Or less. It's just inevitable. Dan splashed around. He's going to pop it up. He's dumped about a couple thousand back just a second ago. Richard's got a bum knee. That's why he's limping in. There goes Dan the Man, raising it on up with the 2 4s, Ace Queen. Really like Big G's hand here. King Jack 9-9 double suited. Pretty playability. Baker's in with the 5 6 7 10. George has lost his mind with the Ace 7 5 deuce. Here we go. Wrap-a-roo for Richard here. A bet of 125, an instant. Oh, set of 4s. Okay, big pot incoming. A set of 4s and with a gut shot for Dan. He almost min clicks it back. So this is going to be interesting. Richard doesn't have a pair, so I mean, he's not folding his hand. It's just depending on how fast he wants to, yeah, because Dan has only been running it once. And that is a really sweet turn card for Dan. As you now see, he's got diamonds. So there goes a lot of Rich's straight cards up in smoke. Now they cannot come in diamond form. 675. I don't believe Richard will be folding though. It's still a really big wrap. He's got the 9 to the ace. He doesn't necessarily just have to put Dan on diamonds, but he does fold it. I was shocked the way Dan's been playing that he didn't call. He doesn't really have the stack to call. He's only got 1,000 back, so you know that's one of those scenarios where if they get it all, if Rich gets it all in on the flop, knowing Dan will run it twice, that would be ideal. But Dan is running it once. Buckle your seatbelts and don't change that dial. I just got word that there is a big pot coming. I knew it. I smelt it. I felt it. Whoever dealt it, smelt it, and felt it. That'd be Jordan with a Aaron Rodgers jersey on still. Woo-wee, baby doll. Baker flops the nuts. Ace 10. Backdoor nut spades. Here. Nothing really out there for anybody else. Baker changed seats and said, let me start taking some pots in this seat if you guys don't mind. I mean, I tell you what, Big G is as cool as the other side of the pillow. If you guys only knew. That's what I'm going to do. That's my next maybe life goal, is to get Big G to write an autobiography. Couldn't beat it. Couldn't beat the stories. It's impossible. Baker, it's dealt a flush. Finally made a flush, didn't you, Baker? Pretty good flop here for Mike. Mike S. He's got a pair of sixes. He's got king high hearts. That 5 could come into play as he could turn up 2 pair, turn some straight draws. George does turn a straight, a very baby straight, and bets a very baby bet. Big G said, hell, for $15 I'd, never mind. Hey, I'd catch an 8 on the river. George made a little too cheap. Big G taking a little gander. Double checking. You still got it, baby. I like a nice little 50 here. Nice little value. Just a quarter. He wants to get paid. I like that too. George snap folds. Mike can't call. Good bet, though. That's what I was talking about on the other stream. Sometimes you have to bet what your opponents have. You know, not the strength of your hand, the strength of their hand. So you're trying to get paid off by what's actually out there, like a little two pair, a set or something. A bad straight like George had. Like, so when you bet 50, 75, they're not going to call with those hands, but they might call 25. They might just see. They just want to see it. Well, hell, take $25. You could almost get you 3 carton of eggs for that nowadays. Okay, I got you. That would be Mike S with the set. Yeah, and I got you. That's Mike. That's Poker Mike. I'm with you. I'm with you. Pretty hand here for Big G. King Jack 8-7 suited to the king. And a pretty hand here for Richard, raising it up with ace, queen, jack, jack, queen, jack of hearts. He makes it 100. George wants to gamble with the ace, queen, 10, 6, 3 diamonds. Danny's gambling with a pair and any 4 for sure right now. Club's live, deuces live for Dan. Richard, really good spot here, 3 ways. And George flops gut shot straight flush draw, double gut shot straight flush draw, 7 of diamonds, jack of diamonds, and oh my lord, Dan raises him with the king, just the 9. And Richard's like, huh? George could, what is George gonna do? What are you gonna do here? George does not have a pair. He's not folding. Does call. Oh wow, bad. And this king 9 is the best hand. George has half the deck, and he actually, no, deuces are gonna win this hand. George, you gotta take it. You gotta take that pot, George. Although, chance Dan calls him. Dan's a maniac. Or Dan is curious, shall we say. He's more of a show me guy. He's from Chicago, but yeah, maybe he's from the show me state. Looks like an easy bet win spot for George, but not guaranteed. I think that's what George was thinking. This guy might call me with a pair of deuces. Richie has turned the visor around, but he has taken the hoodie off. He means business again. And here we go. He raises it to 30. Five, 5, 6, 7 double suited. And immediately behind him, Dan 3 bets it up with the 7, 8, 9 queen to 80. Monkey is in there with the deuce 3, 4, 6. Playing deuce to 7 triple draw. Now he's looking for a 5 and a piece. Oh, wow, a lot of hands out there. Richard pops it up with the ace, king, 10, 8. Clubs to 225. George has called the 225. It says with the ace, king, 4 deuce. They're all looking to gamble at this point. Richard calls and Dan said, let's see, boys. And Dan pots it. Dan says, you boys want to gamble? It's going to cost you $1,430 to see this flop. The wicked monkey looks sick. You know he hates to fold. How deep is Dan here? Dan's got about 1,800 total. Richard's not going to fold. He's already put 200 in. He's only got 600 total. 660. Yeah. That's a must. 885 is what he's got, but he's in. And George is now in the pot with the ace, king, 4 deuce. Now you know George is... We've got stuck George here, no doubt about that. And no one knows what's going on here. The pot has ballooned up, and now Big G said, I'm in this pot too. Don't leave me out. I got $2,000, and I got ace, 10, 10, 7, and I got diamonds, boys. So what we going to do here? Now this pot is ballooned up to 6,000 pre-flop. Baker with the 5, 5, 6, 7 double suited. What's he going to do? He's only got 225 invested, but it's going to be his. Dan has money behind, though, folks, just so we're aware. Looks like Dan has 1,800 left. Jordan, a great dealer, getting the pot right, getting it together. Going to be some side pots, going to be some fireworks, going to be some bloodshed. Richie is trying to figure out what kind of price he's getting here. He's like, wow. And as you see, he's 27%, so his hand's a 3-to-1 equity-wise in this hand. So, and he's getting way more than 3-to-1 to make this call. At this exact point, well, he's 1,200 to win 72. What's that? 12. Yeah, still, yeah. He's still in good shape here. Too much. Zane Bradford, too much action. I'm scared. Ain't that the truth? These boys are off their rockers right now. It's been a great game all night. What is Baker going to do here? What do we think of chat? Does he call, fold, rip it? What do? Do you call and leave, just see if you kind of connect with the flop, or do you want to see all 5? I mean, there are some flops where I guess you can save your last little bit. What do you all think? Well, what is Baker going to do here? Chat, what would you do if you were Baker? Oh, Baker rips it. Apparently, Dan doesn't believe in, quote, a small Paul poker pre-flop. No, Dan was big winner, and he's dusted off a couple thousand. He actually made a really good bets against the monkey. The monkey was a non-believer, and now Dan has said, let's spit it up. So what did Baker do? Did Baker just call? Or did he rip it? Baker just called, which I understand because now he only has 445 left, but there actually is some flops, ace, king, like flops where he can just be stone dead, you know, or like an all jack 10 queen, all spades or some stuff where he can save himself that extra 445. What is going to happen? This is a $7,700 pot with a little bit left behind. What is going to happen here? Jordan getting, there's a lot of side pots, so Jordan's getting all that figured out beforehand. Smart dealer. And Dan has only been running it once. Dan's hand's not, you know, it runs pretty well. Queen 7, 8, 9. His clubs aren't live. Richard's hand runs at saying 15%. George at 10%. Big Sim's in there with his fair share, 20%. Man, this is oh, they are going to possibly run it twice here. That's what they're talking about. They are scared that this would bust the game, which is a very strong possibility. Or it could make the game. It could make the game go nuts either way. George has money behind too now. Oh my good Lord Almighty. Baker gets it all in. Oh, and five. And oh my God, Baker flops. They flop. Holy God, my God, my God. This is about a $9,500 pot now. And Dan flops the nuts. Baker flops bottom set and open-ended. George is in negative 1%. And he has put it in dead. He needs a running 4 deuce or 4 king, or he needs a 4 ace king deuce in a hurry. Oh no, that wouldn't even work because that would give Baker 4s full. Good Lord, bye. Sorry, Georgie. Sick. Big Sims in there needing running 10 pair or diamonds. And Richard in there hoping for a 7-9 run out or a club run out. Oh, dear God. Dear God, that is... Anyone got spades? No, that's Dan. That's all Dan on run 1. Spade again. And then, oh, Baker fills up on run 2. 5's full. They chop it up. But that is a sick... That is the dangers when you guys decide to inflate these pots and, you know, this madness can occur. Some of these hands obviously shouldn't have been in there pre-flop, but they all are at that point of the session where they just want to gamble. Pretty sick. Dan has to chop right there. I mean, Baker's got one of his board pair outs. He was decently live with the set, but or an 8 to chop. No, 8 beats him because Dan has 7-9. So he's only drawn to the board to pair. Dan has a queen in his hand on the turn. No one has spade. That is a sick, sick hand. Pokerman 3210. Wow, sits next to the dealer, calls with garbage, flops and nuts only at Club JAQK. Queen 789 is actually not garbage if you know how to play PLO. It's not premium by any stretch, but he's gambling. If you've been watching the stream at all, he's literally been calling with any fork hands. He's giving insane action. He just dusted off 2,500, 3,000 a couple hands ago, so he's not. It's not that. So don't insinuate that, because that's not fair and just negative. And if you've watched the whole stream, you would know that he is just. I mean, he's just giving all kinds of action right now. And he, like I said, he just dusted off 2,500 to 3,000 in the last 20 minutes. So I don't know. That might have broke the game. Huge pot, run it once, LOL nice. No, they ran it twice, Gene. Yeah, he's been. You know what's funny, Gene, is he's been running it once all night. The only reason he ran it twice is because he was scared it was going to break the game, and there is a good chance it's going to break the game anyway. But sick. Yeah, Dan usually has ran it once all night long, so that would have been sick. That is absolutely mayhem. That might end at the stream, boys and girls, because it looks like, I know Big Sims is out of here. George might be gone. Richard might be gone. All right, they did say, because they are down to 3 or 4 handed. I think they're going to play another 2 orbits. Baker takes a stand with the 5, 5, 6, 7 double. But as you can see, Baker's no. This is not his first rodeo. He knows that hand is. You know, he was 20, whatever I said, 27% or so, 23%, whatever it was, 27% to win that hand. So he was getting the right price, even as crazy as it sounds. I know some of you guys don't understand that in the chat, but that's what Baker was sitting there figuring out. Computer work, and he crunched the numbers and said, I'm going to flop me a set of 5s is what I'm going to do. But my Lord, what a way to basically end it. Woo, baby doll, so gross. About 10K pot almost there, boys and girls.
The only difference was George had 120 more than you did that you couldn't cover, so he got that difference of that 120.
Dan got all of it.
Everything else he had got 400 split up between you two. Yeah. Okay. George only had more than you did.
On the second hole, it ran out queen. I flopped to step 5.
That's why you get half the pot.
Still at 5.
Otherwise, you got 0. Hit it straight. So
We both had
No, you didn't. I had the nuts.
you didn't have 7 8. You had a 7. You had a 7 a pair and open under.
Yeah.
7 guys.
Yeah, you had set up 665.
No, that's right. You got
You gotta love it. Now these Omaha professionals, they don't even know what they got. Baker thought he had a straight. He did have open-ended with bottom set, but his open-ended was no good.
I know you look. You're nitty as they come. You look like a champ. I'm still not gonna look. I don't need to look to beat you.
I'm gonna try this trick.
What is that?
110 dark.
Here, I'll do this.
And Dance makes it 110 dark again. 7-7-6-3. Or he made it 65, excuse me. I think Richie made it 110 in the dark.
You're 65, 105 in the dark.
So they're just gambling. You guys see this a lot at the end of any poker game, but especially PLO. There's some stuck guys. Well, 7's full for Dan the man, as he is in fuego. Dan has started to heat back up. He started off the stream hot, then he gave it all back, and now he wins that monster pot. But yeah, you see this a lot at the end of sessions where guys start to, hey, let's put 100 in and run it. Let's put 100 in dark, and so there could be some late game shenanigans here. If you guys are just tuning in, you just missed a basically $10,000 pot. Two players chopped it. They're sitting right next to each other. Spoiler, it's the two guys with the smiles on their faces right now. They both chopped it. Richie, extremely lucky that Dan thought that was going to break the stream, because otherwise he would have ran it once and scooped the entire 10K pot.
7 players are all in. I'm like, come on, just
Gotta love it. You gotta love it.
But I would say just 1950 and just run the whole thing twice.
What we got going on here? Open kings and open ended for Baker. Aces for Mike. Mike's, yeah, he good fold. I like Baker's hand right here. Monkey bets the gut shot here. 100 and Dan giving all kinds of action again for the gut shot 5. And no spades out there, so if a spade comes, someone could kings and 8s now for Rich. Oh, what a card here this is, because now Monkey turns a wrap 5, 6, 7 and the nut heart draw. So now Monkey goes from 3, 5, 6, 7 to complete a straight, and he's got nut hearts.
They play about 3 more orbits.
Oh, you ready now? You play 3 more orbits after the huge hand. You'll notice the huge hand.
I already saw the huge one. I already saw the huge one.
What was that?
I already saw the huge one.
Oh, you ready to
The 10K pot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh, okay, so that's probably only...
Double hands, yeah. So, interesting spot here. Baker, kings and 8s, and open-ended. Danny also. Oh, my. Baker locking it up, pal. And Dan with worse hearts, and wow. The monkey man gets there. Monkey just bombs or wherever Dan can't call. But that was a huge turn card for Monkey's hand. Jason Ray, good question. How come only ran the last card twice, thought pre-flop? Because they weren't all in pre-flop. George, Baker, and Dan all had money left after the flop. So when they got the rest of their chips all in on the flop, when you decide to run it twice, you run it twice from whatever point of the hand you're at. If that makes sense to you? So if you get it all in pre-flop, you get 2 full boards. If you get it all in on the flop, you get 2 turns, 2 rivers. If you get it all in on the turn and run it twice, then you just get 2 river cards. But that's the reason. They weren't all in until after the flop. Yeah, a lot of them were, Jason, all in pre-flop. Half the table was all in pre-flop, but not those 3. Ramon Chavez, 20K on the table with 4 players. That's right. Hey, big winners, obviously.
I'm surprised I didn't get some backdoor space.
Right?
Space came out like
And nobody had space. This is the
Well,
crazy
you
part.
thought he had the nuts with the set. So,
Yeah.
no, I did.
all right. So like, he would have been super fucked when I just got the whole pot. I mean,
And Baker not calling that last hand, by the way, with kings, eights, and open-ended. It's a factor of 2 things. It's not 100% you have the best hand. Pretty sure you got outs if you don't, but he knows the game's about to break, so he's not going to take a mediocre spot right at the end of the session. Especially when you got Dan right behind you that could easily just completely rip it. So we got black screen here, and we're back. 3 deuces here for Dan the man as we come back, and Monkey bets 300, drawing basically dead. Full house. And Monkey announces, well, he doesn't. He have aces and deuces. He's making a little joke. He's ace 4-5 in his hand, makes a wheel. Do full house for Dan. So again, this is kind of the part of the session. They all have agreed that they're only going to play a couple more hands. No one's probably going to get too crazy out of line, but they're going to kind of do little $100, $200 bets. Oh, you want to put 200 in it and check it down? You know, things of that nature. You see that all the time at the end of sessions. Especially all these guys are winning, so they all kind of want to lock it on up. Dan pedal to the middle, 8-7 deuce. Monkey with the ace 8-7-4. Queen 7-3-3 for Mike. He's on out of there. Baker, you know he's gonna raise it up there. So
Hey, I'm here too.
Well, no, that's what I was actually talking to you.
Oh, well, I appreciate it. Thanks.
Baker flops best here with ace king. Flush draw for Dan and flush draw for Monkey. Bet and a snap raise to, and Monkey just takes it down. That is always one way to play your flushes. Play them aggressive and strong and just win the pot without having to hit it. Never works for me. I always do that and they smooth call me with kings full.
He went line. He doesn't win.
behind though, like why'd you call him?
Too much money. And the off chance y'all don't have the nuts.
Dan said to hell with Danis raising every hand. Monkey thinks he's got a good read on Dan. He's played every pot with him. I like Mike's hand right here, the ace 10 9 7. Is Baker going to go to war with his fives again? They're very ugly fives, and he's out of there. Very, very, very big flop for Dan. Full wrapping hearts, and he turns them dead. No one's biting. Bad river for Dan, but check, 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 and 5 high flush. Take it down, Dan. Flopped a monster. Deuce 3 5 7 or a heart. Can we see the winning graphics? Yeah, Aaron, here's the problem with the winning graphics. So from the technical difficulties earlier, they played after we ended the stream, and they played for about another 45 minutes. We fixed the technical difficulties and came back to the stream, and the winnings graphics picked back up from where the stream had originally left off, so they're not accurate. Like, Monkey won a huge hand off stream and came back, and it said he won like a $6,000 hand, and he came back off stream. I mean, it still says he was down $1,500 and he wasn't. So I'm not showing the winning graphics because it's just going to be confusing to everybody, and they're not accurate. But all 4 of these players are winning. I think Baker's in for about 3,000, 2,000, 3,000. I think Monkey's in for 3,000. You can look at his stack and see what he's doing. The Wicked Monkey has lit himself back on fire. And Dan, I think, is only in for 1 bullet of 2,000 as well. And then I believe Mike bought in for 1,000. So he's about a $400 winner. If I'm not, it's pretty close to all that. Pretty hand there from Dan. That's a real hand finally. He's got the 10 Jack Queen King, and then he's got he has absolutely nothing. So Monkey wins with his ace and a flush draw, but the ace is good. That's a really pretty hand though. 10 Jack Queen King for Dan. It's almost not. Doesn't even seem right that Dan has a real hand. Three jacks for Baker. Another really good hand here for Dan, especially for him. Oh, someone gets to spin the wheel. Oh my lord, Monkey. Flop you a little something. Dan, though, he ain't out of the woods. He's got a 6 or a club. This is a little interesting spot, as Monkey does have a wrap, but it's the bottom end. A lot of cards don't. And he pops it. He said, you know what, do you want to gamble or not before we leave? And a snap call from Dan and a 5. Check, check. Who wants it more now? And then there's Dan. Nut clubs. He makes the nut straight, and Dan makes the king high flush, but it's over. So that's an interesting point there, right? Monkey does say that is the worst river, and he's correct. But that was a very good card for Monkey to keep betting on the turn to get Dan just to go ahead and fold that flush draw and gut shot straight draw. He raised him on the flop. He bet, got raised, and re-raised the flop. So he's representing a lot of strength there.
What? How the fuck? Like 6 people?
Nice hand for Dan again. Nice hand for Monkey. Queen, 10-7. Decent hand. Dan double suited. Sort of connected. And these guys are going to war. You gotta love it. Look, Greg, Monkey here.
Greg, are you leaving
Definitely
right
calling.
now? Can you just push Rock out until this game goes down? We only got like 10 minutes left here. No, it's good, dude. You sure?
Pull out 500 and come sit down for a minute or.
King, 10. So a 10 and a flush draw. For Monkey. Monkey's got queens. He looked up Dan really light earlier. So let's see what we do again. Dan does not stop betting. 400. Those queens are gonna start shriveling up. Look at this though.
You can put in more red chips if you want.
Yeah, he's Dan feels the red chips in the pot was weakness, and he was right. He shriveled by Monkey was right, but couldn't follow through. But these two are not locking it up. Give them that. These two are not locking their wins up. They are still battling each other. 3-bet and 4-betting each other every hand.
He has retired painting.
So last hand up.
This battle for 15 minutes.
So the last hand here. We'll have a 1-3 seed if you want it. It's the earliest it's ever ended, but we also destroyed 7 of the players. Right.
Exact same hand. I mean, the exact same.
Now it goes to the
Seven folds.
Did you look at the last one?
No, he can't see.
If that's the whole
We had it.
Six round.
talking about suit.
We got aces here for Mike. I really like Monkey's pre-flop 5, 7, 8, 9. He's still got a wrap. And see, he just gets the aces to fold. That might have been it, boys and girls.
You didn't let it go for like 15 minutes before you hit the round. Okay. I don't ever know what fucking day it is. Alright, 2 minutes out.
I think that concludes the stream. What action tonight? What action? Absolutely insanity. Again, sorry about the technical difficulties on the earlier stream, but we came back with a bang. We are here every day this week. Open PLO runs almost every day. Hold'em runs every day. Tournaments every day. Come check us out at Club JAQK. And the live stream will be back Friday night. But what a game. What a game. What a game. Until next time.